This video is created for entertainment and storytelling purposes only. The stories featured may be fictional, inspired, adapted, or dramatized. Any resemblance to real persons or events is strictly coincidental. This channel does not promote harassment, violence, or illegal activities. Viewer discretion is advised.
The night my uncle moved into our house, my mother whispered something that changed my life forever. "Don't upset him," she said quietly while fixing my school uniform. "Everything we have depends on your uncle now." I was 16 years old. And from that moment, I stopped feeling like a niece. I became his servant. My name is Ava. And if you think toxic family stories only happen between parents and children, you've never met my Uncle Raymond. At first, everyone in the family acted like he was some kind of hero. After my father died, Mom struggled to pay the mortgage. We were drowning in debt. Bills piled up on the kitchen counter like little reminders that life was falling apart. Then Raymond appeared. He drove up in a black SUV wearing expensive suits and a smile so fake it looked painted on. "I'll help my sister," he announced during Sunday dinner. The entire family praised him. My grandmother cried. My cousins called him generous. But I noticed something nobody else did. He never helped anyone without expecting ownership in return. Within 2 months, he had moved into our house temporarily. Within 4 months, he controlled our bank accounts. Within 6 months, he controlled my mother. And eventually, he tried to control me too. It started with little things. "Ava, make me coffee." "Ava, iron my shirts." "Ava, massage my shoulders, I've had a long day." At first, Mom acted embarrassed. But she never stopped him. Every time I complained, she'd panic. "Please just do it," she whispered. "You know how much he's sacrificed for us." Sacrificed? The man practically owned our house by then. He constantly reminded us that without him, we'd be homeless. And Mom believed him. One night, I came home from school and found Raymond sitting in the living room with a folder in his hand. "Sit down," he ordered. Not asked. Ordered. I sat slowly. He smiled. "You're almost 18. I nodded carefully. "You should start thinking about your future." "I already am." "Good," he said. "Because I have plans for you." Something in my stomach twisted. "What kind of plans?" He leaned back casually. "I have business partners with sons your age. Wealthy families. Connections. Opportunities." I stared at him. "You're talking about marriage." "I'm talking about security." I laughed nervously because I honestly thought he was joking. He wasn't. My mother stood in the kitchen doorway completely silent. That silence hurt more than his words. Over the next year, Raymond became worse. He criticized my clothes. Controlled where I went. Demanded to know who I texted. Sometimes he'd walk into my room without knocking. And every single time I told Mom this wasn't normal, she defended him. "He's old-fashioned. He worries about you. He's protecting you." No. He was controlling me. There's a difference. The worst part? The rest of the family loved him. At birthdays, everyone praised Uncle Raymond for saving us. Meanwhile, I was secretly counting the days until college applications opened. Because escaping that house became my only goal. But Raymond noticed. Of course he did. One evening, he entered my room holding a university brochure. "You applied out of state." My heart stopped. "You went through my things." "I asked you a question." I swallowed hard. "Yes." He tossed the brochure onto my bed. "You're not leaving." "I already got accepted." "You're staying here." "I'm an adult." He smiled slowly. You live under my roof. That sentence snapped something inside me. This is my father's house. I screamed. For the first time ever, Raymond lost his calm. The smile vanished instantly. His eyes turned cold. You ungrateful little girl. My mother rushed upstairs after hearing the shouting. And instead of asking if I was okay, she slapped me. Hard. Apologize to your uncle right now. I stared at her in complete disbelief. That was the moment I realized something terrifying. My mother feared losing Raymond more than losing me. So I stopped fighting openly. Instead, I started planning. Quietly. Carefully. Patiently. I got a part-time job after school and lied about study groups. I saved every dollar. I hid cash inside old textbooks Raymond never touched because he hated reading anything that didn't make him money. Then one night, I accidentally discovered something huge. Raymond was in his office yelling on the phone. I walked past the room and heard him say, "If the IRS finds out, we are both finished." I froze. The door was slightly open. Inside, papers covered the desk. Tax forms. Property documents. Bank statements. And one specific document with my mother's forged signature. I knew it was forged because I'd spent years watching Mom sign school papers. The signature looked wrong. Very wrong. Suddenly Raymond noticed me standing there. Our eyes locked. For a second, neither of us moved. Then he slowly stood up. What exactly did you hear? My entire body went cold. Nothing. Don't lie to me. I ran. Literally ran upstairs and locked myself in my room. My hands shook so badly I could barely hold my phone. That night, Raymond banged on my door for almost an hour. Ava, open this door. Silence. We need to talk. More silence. Then finally, his voice changed completely. Cold. Threatening. You should remember who pays for your life. I barely slept. The next morning, Mom acted like nothing happened. Which somehow made everything even creepier. But now I knew something important. Raymond wasn't powerful. He was scared. And scared people make mistakes. So I started digging. Over the next few weeks, I secretly photographed documents whenever Raymond left the office open. Turns out, he had been stealing money through fake investments for years. Even worse. He used my mother's identity in several financial accounts. If authorities discovered it, she could go down with him. The same mother who kept choosing him over me. And despite everything, I still wanted to save her. That's the messed up thing about family. Sometimes they break your heart repeatedly, and you still love them anyway. I copied every document onto a cheap flash drive. Then I hid it inside my locker at school. Good thing too. Because 2 nights later, Raymond searched my room. I woke up at 2 a.m. hearing drawers slam open. He stood there in darkness tearing through my belongings. What are you looking for? I whispered. He didn't answer. He just stared at me. And for the first time in my life, I was genuinely afraid of him. The next day at school, I skipped lunch and went directly to the police station nearby. I almost turned around 3 times. I kept thinking, what if nobody believes me? What if Mom hates me forever? What if Raymond retaliates? But then I remembered my father. A kind man who used to tell me, fear grows when silence feeds it. So I walked inside. And everything changed. Apparently, Raymond had already been under investigation for financial fraud. The documents I provided became the missing piece investigators needed. Over the next month, the situation exploded. Bank accounts frozen. Search warrants issued. Family members panicking. And suddenly all those relatives who worshipped Raymond disappeared. Funny how loyalty vanishes when money does. The day authorities arrived at the house, Raymond tried one last time to control me. "You did this," he hissed while officers searched his office. I looked him directly in the eye. "No," I said calmly. "You did." He lunged toward me. But officers restrained him immediately. And my mother, she collapsed crying on the living room floor. Not because she loved him. Because she finally realized how badly he manipulated all of us. 4 weeks afterward, she barely spoke. Our house felt haunted. Silent. Empty. Broken. One evening, she knocked softly on my bedroom door. Something she hadn't done in years. "Ava?" "Yeah?" She sat beside me carefully. Then she started crying. Not dramatic crying. Real crying. The kind that comes from guilt buried too long. "I failed you." I didn't answer. Because honestly, part of me still resented her. But another part remembered she'd been manipulated too. Raymond isolated her after Dad died, controlled finances, used fear constantly. And fear changes people. "I was so scared of losing the house," she whispered. I kept telling myself surviving mattered more than happiness. I finally looked at her. "But you almost lost me instead." That sentence shattered her. And truthfully, it shattered me too. Healing wasn't instant. This isn't one of those stories where everything magically becomes perfect. My mother and I spent years rebuilding trust. Some days were good. Some days weren't. But slowly, things changed. She got therapy. Went back to work. Started making decisions without asking permission from anyone. And me? I left for college exactly 1 year later. The same out-of-state university Raymond tried to forbid. The day I moved into my dorm, Mom hugged me tightly and whispered, "Your father would be proud of you." For the first time in years, I believed her. As for Uncle Raymond, he lost nearly everything. His reputation. His money. His fake image of power. Because the truth eventually catches up to people who build their lives on control. And sometimes, the quiet girl everyone underestimates becomes the one who destroys the entire illusion. So if you're listening to this while trapped in a toxic family situation, remember something important. Control is not love. Fear is not respect. And surviving someone's manipulation does not mean you owe them your future. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is finally say enough.